I made $10,000 in 1 month from scratch by creating a micro SaaS without any money, solo, and without writing a single line of code. In this video, I want to share a step-by-step actionable plan with you on how you can find an idea, how to do it solo, what no-code tools or what tech stack to use, and this is where all the software developers will hate me, what AI tools will give you a real advantage and not just a regular fluff, how to get your first 100 users without spending money, how to do a quick exit, and how to repeat this process again and again. Let's begin. This is my bank account with my earnings made by implementing my new micro SaaS idea from scratch. I just want to share this with you as a proof that you can do the same. Before we start, I want to warn you that this video is not about how to become a millionaire in 7 days by doing nothing. Too many 20-year-old YouTubers claiming to be millionaires are responsible for selling you air and fluff with no real business experience. I will share today my real experience, real results, and real strategies. I'm Denis Babic, I'm Ukrainian, and I'm the owner of several IT companies. For the last 10 years, I've been involved in IT software development, consultancy, and AI implementation. How did I find the idea? How you can find the idea? When I was involved in software development, most of my clients wanted Uber clones, TikTok clones, food delivery clones, or they wanted to build a new groundbreaking AI SaaS using just ChatGPT because it's trendy. To be honest, the essence of business is always to satisfy the client and to do what they want. But what do you do when the client wants something that is something that no one needs? That's when I realized that there are thousands of companies like mine that fulfill any client's wish. The only way to move forward is to understand what clients actually need, not just what they say they need. I started reviewing all the software products we made over the last 10 years to find the secret of why some businesses became successful and some others failed. I spoke with hundreds of my ex-clients and collected the most important insights. Businesses that focused on solving one problem quickly from day one, regardless of the technology, had average chances of success. Businesses that aimed for fully finished products with 6+ months of development usually died. Do you know which businesses survived and became successful? One that focused on quick launches, rapid idea testing, fast failures, and repeating the process. The key here is repetition of the process and not betting everything on one idea. This led me to an idea. Why not provide to my clients with a system where they can quickly launch their micro businesses and test ideas within a single infrastructure where 90% of code is already completed. So they just have to write one script and insert it into an already prepared system. That's how my idea was born. So I quickly took completed code elements from different projects, created a micro SaaS wrapper, and started selling it to all my new and old clients. So what do you need to do to find your idea? There are two ways. The first is to understand what you are currently doing and turn that into a micro SaaS. That's what my friend Anton did when he started selling his AI software developer services as a CTO as a service with a subscription. The second way is to copy 2, 3, or 4 successful ideas from the market and create a micro clone. This is exactly what my clients Tim and Brian did when they wanted to create a micro SaaS for accountants. They said they needed just one micro feature to launch. After the launch, they asked for another micro feature, then another, and so on. In the end, I watched how my clients Tim and Brian made a successful exit by selling their business to Happy Tax. So here is what you need to do. First, based on your regular working routine, you should come up with 3 ideas for your field or your working niche. This way, you will follow my path. Second, follow the path of my clients. You need to copy 3 ideas from already existing businesses that are successful and profitable. Where to find these ideas is very simple. Let's go to saashub.com or saasworthy.com. Look at what's currently trending. Pick 3 SaaS ideas you like and write them down. Next, go to reviews sites like G2, Capterra, Trustpilot, and others. Read all negative comments. And these negative comments will be real problems for your micro SaaS. Do not reinvent the wheel. Just copy. The third way, if you want to constantly receive a stream of new ideas and stay on top of the trends, you need to update your sources of information. So, subscribe to Product Hunt, TechCrunch, Well-Found Insights, Y Combinator blog, A16Z blog, Indie Hackers, and others. Over the next few weeks, start consuming new information that you never consumed before to generate new ideas and ideas combinations in your head. A super secret technique that has always allowed me to quickly launch businesses and achieve successes is to fail the first time and make a bad product on purpose. Why? To quickly go through the entire process from generating the idea to programming the product, marketing, and getting users' feedback. So write in the comments 3 of the craziest ideas you'd like to fail with. For the most interesting or funny ones, I will do a 30-minute one-to-one video call to help you launch this micro SaaS in 7 days. Guys, I became so smart not within 1 day. I've made all the possible mistakes that all entrepreneurs and start owners do. A few years ago, I created a startup for DJI drones, spent a year and a half on development, got investment, and in the end, the company went bankrupt. So, I know what to do and what not to do to achieve results. I learned my lessons. By the way, if you like the design and animations in this video, you can follow the link in the description to get full access to the Figma file, Adobe After Effects animation file, and 3D animations. I spent 5 months working on this design and animations with a team of 8 people. So, how do you create your micro SaaS using no-code tools? Well, first you need to find video tutorials on YouTube about creating anything with no-code tools. Then spend from 3 to 6 months learning how to use these tools. You'll also need to learn about databases and understand how APIs work to integrate services like Stripe, MailChimp, and many others. But most importantly, you'll need to write clean code from scratch that will handle your micro SaaS ideas functionality. I want to show you the truth and not sweet lies about no code. So if you want a dose of reality, then like this video, hit the subscribe button, and let's figure out how to code your micro SaaS. No code is a good tool, but only for super basic things like landing page where you need to test something and the product doesn't even exist yet, or functionality is super basic and easy to replicate. Here's a cool example of a team that launched on Product Hunt with just a simple waiting list. But if you need a real micro SaaS, you still have to write your core and main idea from scratch using code if you're a software developer, or you'll have to hire someone on Upwork if you don't have tech skills. Want another secret? It doesn't even matter what tech stack your micro SaaS is built on, even if it's Pascal, C++, and jQuery. Software developers might cringe, but it's the truth, because your users doesn't see anything what is behind your website. They don't know about the backend, and the term database will sound like a rocket science to them. Therefore, when choosing your no-code solution or tech stack, keep in mind that the most important thing is to create a system that you can easily use for each of your next new micro ideas. Do you know the difference between an entrepreneur mindset and a software developer mindset? Software developers are obsessed with the code and product quality. But if you are an entrepreneur, you must spend 90% of your time creating the landing page and marketing materials, and only 10% on coding your micro SaaS. Your users may never see or test your software product if your landing page lacks sufficient marketing hooks. All your efforts in writing code could be wasted if the landing page is bad. For example, after creating more than 100 different SaaS products over the past 10 years, my team and I have analyzed and understood which blocks you need for quickly launching your micro SaaS and testing your idea. First, you need your landing page, preferably on Next.js, because it has built-in SEO capabilities that you can easily use. Instead of creating your design from scratch, you should use a UI service like ShadCN UI, which allow you to simply write HTML code and use pre-made styles and animations. You also need basic registration for your users using Nexthouse, an email service like Resend for sending emails, a regular database like PostgreSQL, one-time payment and subscription pre-built blocks via Stripe, a basic admin zone to manage your users, and an SEO blog template for your lead generation process. This is the minimal must-have you need for quickly launching your startup, so you can focus on creating and building your micro feature that you will integrate into this micro SaaS boilerplate. I understand that many beginners or people who don't have the time or resources to create all this are watching this video, so you just need to spend more time doing this. If you have minimal resources, I have good news for you. We've already created this boilerplate for you. You can use all these pre-built blocks and modules to build your micro SaaS within 1 week. This is a minimal set of features that you need to ship your idea fast to the market and repeat the process again and again. No need for investments. No need to spend a few months creating a code from scratch. No need to pay a monthly fee, just a one-time payment. And all intellectual property is yours. Here are some businesses my clients have already launched using this boilerplate. So you can either write such a boilerplate yourself, or you can click the link in the description to get the ready-made blocks and modules that you can use today to launch your micro SaaS. Look, I don't want to pressure or manipulate you by saying that if you don't start making a micro SaaS, you will miss the opportunity of a lifetime. That's not true. I just want to show you startups that users have been selling via acquire.com over the past 6 months. As you can see, most of these businesses have a revenue of $20,000 to $150,000 per year, and people are buying these startups. Achieving these numbers is actually very easy and simple by launching your product on Product Hunt and doing a few partnership promotions. Honestly, I'm lazy and I love finding opportunities where you can do something quickly and get maximum results in a couple of weeks. Whether you use this or not, it's up to you. Why you should create an MVP with just one feature? Consider this. When my clients were starting their startups, they faced the 200 kilogram barrel problem. The essence is that when you go to the gym, you don't start by lifting a 200 kilogram barrel on the first day, right? But in business, it's the opposite. People think that hiring developers, finding a partner, writing code, overseeing developers, preparing marketing materials, forming an LLC, and launching the product in market and raising funds, it's all easy and simple, and that they will have enough resources, money, and motivation to handle all this for a couple of years. In reality, it doesn't work like that. That's why you need to do something very small and simple. By the way, do you know where to find an endless source of motivation? It's when you quickly create your micro SaaS, launch it, and get the first money in your bank account. Then you will have the desire, motivation, and most importantly, the resources to improve your product, enhance conversions, add new features, and so on. Believe me. Do you know the perfect example of a fast MVP launch? It's Amazon Go, where their video cameras and genius AI figure out if you picked up a product, stole it, and so on. Well, that was an MVP where Amazon just hired people from India to watch the customers through video cameras. Using this methodology, we created a micro SaaS for our client Ron. Initially, we created a simple landing page about algo trading, and his first idea didn't receive positive feedback from users. Then we refined the idea and added one micro feature to his micro SaaS, and within few months, Ron managed to raise $200,000 easily. Part 3. How to use AI advantage and how it can help you generate new cool ideas. Please remember, if it's cheaper to hire someone from India for $3 an hour, then you don't need AI at all. AI is just a tool that allows you to solve old and existing problems for your users in a new, faster and better way. But to understand which problems is suitable for AI, you need to understand how AI works and what its capabilities are. First, there are different LLMs, large language models. There are many of them, and they vary. The most famous is ChatGPT from OpenAI, Llama from Facebook, Gemini from Google, and others. You should also pay attention to tools like LangChain, which allow you to create a vector database for your knowledge base and integrate any LLM to create your chatbot. It sounds scary, but to simplify, it's just a system that allows your chatbot to have knowledge about something from your database and answer users' questions based on that knowledge base. Next, we have AI agents. These are bots that act as programmers, testers, marketers, and so on. Usually you create the description of your agent using regular prompts and define its reactions to events. The more agents you have, the better the output quality. They should check each other and have a limited action cycle. They are needed when you need to significantly improve the output, especially when a regular ChatGPT gives weak results or hallucinations. AI memory allows your AI or AI agents to have memory for ongoing communication with your users. It's great when your bot knows what you and your users like because it has saved your preferences in its database, and now it can offer better solutions knowing what you like and what you hate. We also have Grok, which allows you to process your AI requests very quickly. Typically, Grok infrastructure is used for AI cold calls because Grok can reduce latency to almost zero, giving the impression that you're talking to a real person. And of course, there are many different third-party services like 11 Labs for creating different voices for cold calls, podcasts, or just voiceovers, Midjourney for generating images, music creation services, and others. Once you understand your options, you can combine them to create solutions for your users. Again, it's best to create solutions for businesses because they are willing to pay more than regular users. Here's another tip. First, use ready-made blocks, modules, or services that allow you to create your AI solution solo with no code like Relevance AI. Build your solution using Micro SaaS fast for a quick launch, test it in the market, and if users like it and are willing to pay, I will repeat, if they are willing to pay, then you can create your solution 2.0 with custom blocks, modules, registers, intellectual property, and so on. Also, if you're interested in delving deeper into the world of startups, AI, and SaaS businesses, and want to connect with business-minded founders and entrepreneurs, where I share tons of insights and host live chats, then click the link in the video description and join me on my Telegram channel or Twitter right now. Part 4. How to get your first 100 users for free. Let's start with the easiest methods, which is your network. When you launch your micro SaaS, you should spread the word among your acquaintances, friends, or colleagues. WhatsApp, emails, Twitter, and LinkedIn. The advanced level is to write a message to small influencers. Give them free access to your product and ask them to mention it on their Twitter or LinkedIn. Don't forget to follow up a few times. By the way, it works best if you can get the person on a video call under an argument of expanding your network. Use this life hack. For example, I wrote an email to one of my old clients, and she immediately recommended my services to her ex-colleague, who then purchased my Micro SaaS wrapper. The second method is by writing articles for your blog. Remember, we are not reinventing the wheel, especially at the idea level. The best method for that is to write alternative articles. For example, if we look at alternatives to Intercom, We will see many articles that immediately provide a list. These users already know what they are looking for, and they are the ones who are ready to pay. How do you write such an article? Just copy the existing article and add your keywords, add the name of your product, and ask ChatGPT to rewrite. Then add it to your blog. Moving on. The next method is product hunt. So, what do you need to do? First, create an account and add a profile description. Start doing this now, because if your account is empty or new, you won't be able to post about your startup for the first 7 days. Next, create a description of your product. This is probably the most crucial part and a skill you should train. For the first time, you can just copy what competitors are doing, and for the second time, you can improve it. Remember, the first time we're creating something that no one needs. The most important part is this short text. If this text doesn't grab the user's attention, all the other works is useless. The goal of this blog is to motivate your users to click and open the detailed information. In the detailed information, you can reveal more specific details, but the most important thing is the images. They must be attractive and sell your idea, so users want to click through and watch your video. Finally, add a long first comment containing a mini story about your struggles and eventual success. But more importantly, list your customers' pain points and describe the solution they will get by using your micro SaaS. Next, plan your launch date. The rule is simple. Your launch will be visible for 1 day according to the Pacific time zone. Remember that weekends have less traffic and competition, while weekdays have more traffic and more competition. Also remember that launching a product on Product Hunt is a system. To get good visibility and results, you need to find from 10 to 50 people in advance, negotiate with them, and ensure they have good Product Hunt accounts that can upvote your product and give it a basic boost. Remember, empty or new accounts of your friends won't help and will only decrease your positions on Product Hunt. Their algorithm can catch that. The first method is the Hacker News form. It's a fantastic service that can generate a lot of traffic if you get a chance to become visible on the first page. It's super simple. You go to the show section, read the rules, see how other users launch their startups, and do the same. The main thing to know here is that the audience is primarily software developers and tech enthusiasts. There are 2 key points. First, your headline should be simple and clear, describing the problem and solution. Avoid using silly words like groundbreaking, innovating, etc. The headline should be relevant and to the point. Second, comments are very important. Read what users write and respond to them, because their comments can provide valuable insights on how to improve your products or what to focus on. The comments will be 90% negative, but they will help you get a better understanding of your app. Hacker News is a place where you can get a lot of criticism, new ideas, and traffic. The formula is I made product to outcome. And don't forget to share your story in the first comment explaining why you did all this. And the fifth method is partnerships. For example, your service is an intercom clone with WhatsApp integration, and your partner is a business that offers deep user analytics for websites. Your task is to do cross-promotion. You advertise their service and they advertise yours in their email list, Twitter, LinkedIn, and so on. The best part about your micro SaaS is that it takes less than a week to write the code and launch your software. After that, this business will run on autopilot and generate profit for you. Once you have a stable profit for a few months, you can start looking for buyers to sell your business. It's important to know that the multiplier for a typical SaaS is from 5 to 10 times, but for a micro SaaS, it's from 1.5 to 2 times. So, if your annual revenue is $120,000, once again, revenue, not profit, then the value of your micro SaaS business will be $180,000 to $240,000. Remember that you're selling intellectual property and you don't always need a new company incorporate for this. Just create a separate Stripe account. There are 3 methods for your exit. The first is networking with people you know personally or within your community. The second method is to list your business on acquire.com and wait for offers from potential buyers. The third method is to proactively search for buyers. An example is Dropbox, which has acquired many companies over the last 10 years. Find companies that are larger than yours, but not too big, in related niches and start communicating. Look, guys, the most important thing is to create a system where you can quickly build your micro SaaS businesses. A system where you can test your new ideas quickly and almost without money. Once you create such a system, you can reuse it dozens of times. Each next time will only require you to write a script for your micro idea and insert it into the already working system. Success is math and simply a matter of the number of tries. Me, my clients, successful YouTubers, and you, we're all ordinary people who have just made more mistakes than regular people. So get off your couch and start creating your micro SaaS now. The cost of failure is just a week spent creating everything. But the cost of regret when someone else does it and you don't is too high. Your idea is needed by your users. Your micro SaaS is needed by the market. And even if no one believes in you, I do. My name is Denis Babish. Remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and use micro SaaS fast to quickly create your startup today. See you!